Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. We don't know at what point in the day, during the day or during the night that you're going to hear us, but welcome to our second session of the WMC Book Club. This is an initiative spearheaded by Miss Janet Nang from Bridges PH. This is an initiative to encourage people within our community, most especially the WMC alumni, to engage with us and to read books as a continuous journey of learning and interacting with your fellow alumni here in our community. We are extending our appreciation, of course, to Attorney Leo Cabrera, to Sir Jong Merida, and to Mr. Ricky So for helping us establish this group that we are forming within our community. So, ngayon ay good morning kami kasi we are we are here with you in the morning. Okay, we meet in the morning on a
Yes.
Friday. Good morning, Achi Janet.
Good morning, Kaloy, and a beautiful
Yeah,
morning at that.
beautiful.
Cloudy but very cool ang weather. So nakaka-pacify ng konti sa mga naramdaman
Nakakalma.
ko doon sa nabasa
Yeah.
natin na libro, no, which is the assigned book for today's discussion is Ego is the
Yeah.
Enemy, no? Dahil
Which is this? Yeah.
there you
Tataas ko
go.
pala. There you go.
Napakaraming not just self-discovery, but sabi ko nga sa'yo, di ba, it touched on a lot of raw nerves na parang feeling ko tumatawid ako sa kalsada na sobrang rocky on barefoot. Ganon ang feeling. Like what I've said kanina, so many times I would like to throw my iPad on the wall because of what I was reading. No? Ganon siyang kasakit. Ganon siya kasakit.
All right.
But
so maybe before
thank you for recommending. Thank you for recommending this book. Sige, go ahead.
Yeah. No worries. All right. So maybe before we begin, let's just give a brief overview about what we've discussed during our first meeting, which is the first book entry that we were able to read in the month of June was The Alter Ego. So last week we were able to discuss about looking towards yourself and discovering who your alter ego is, who your superhero is, that your ideal self baga. So that was the premise of that book. And for this month, what we're discussing naman is we're going to go back to the ego, but this time we're going to address something not which is not your alter ego, but the ego that is actually preventing you from being who you truly are. All right?
Yeah.
So, let's begin, Achi Janet. So, my first question so that maybe we can discuss about this one. The book is authored by Mr. Ryan Holiday. And then the premise of this book is that our ego, okay, contrary to what we've read last week, ito yung nagpre-prevent sa atin from attaining our highest self, our highest achievement, our highest successes. Because ito yung ego na nakigisna natin simula pa pagkabata natin. Yung tinuturo sa atin, wag masyadong mataas ang pride. Huwag masyadong mataas ang ere, di ba? This is the ego now that we are talking about. In his book, The Ego is the Enemy. So maybe the first question that we'd like to discuss, and maybe you can throw out your ideas about this, Achi Janet. How can thinking less of ourselves be helpful?
With what I've read, no. The opposite of finding true success in what you want to do is really not putting yourself first. Diba? It might get to that as a result of what you have been working so hard for, but initially it cannot be about yourself, no. Actually, hindi rin siya about other people. It's about the work that you put in, the time that you put in, whatever talent or skill you have that you invest knowing that if you put all of this in time, skill, talent, and the effort, no, it's going to grow something to, it's going to be a success. Growing to, yeah, so I live in a residential area, kaya captured din ang mga dumadaan
Background
na,
noises. That's okay.
yeah, but that's it, no? And that was so surprising for me, realizing na, hey, it shouldn't be about me. And sometimes it shouldn't be about other people as well, yes, you have a goal in mind, no, but minsan those goals change, diba? As you go down this road that you have chosen to journey on, nagbabago rin yung goal mo. In one of the chapters, when Ryan was talking about success, he touched on yung mga very popular companies right now, like Amazon, Facebook, hindi naman YouTube, no, hindi naman ang purpose nila is to take over the industry. They were just having fun. And because they had the time, they had the skill, they had this talent, no, they put in the effort to have fun. And then eventually it grew. It grew to something that is bigger than themselves, no. And that's one thing that I've learned to answer your first question.
Right. Kasi here's the thing, I'd like to tie in rin what we've discussed a month ago with regards to the alter ego. It's good that we sometimes think highly of ourselves. But there's a certain limit, there's a certain threshold na pagka tumawid tayo doon, it's gonna be hurting us na eh. Yeah. So, I like it. I like what Ryan was able to parang dissect the ultimate meaning of what he want to discuss, which is the ego, So I'll just quote him here, Ego daw, on the basis, on the premise of this book, is the unhealthy belief in your own importance. Yeah. So that is the ultimate definition of ego. Why is it that having a high opinion about ourselves in most of the times, okay, is actually hurting us rather than helping us? So dito na yung parang false sense of belief na parang I know everything, I'm the master of my own plan, whatever I say is true, is gospel, di ba? Yung mga ganong idea. And most of the time, the effect of having that mentality or having that attitude is that we tend to parang ano yan eh, parang horse blinders na parang we're so fixated with what we want to see that we don't see the periphery na, we don't see the other options or the other problems or situation na hindi natin na-address. So, I'd like to go on to our
not only problems, but also the opportunities, other opportunities around us, di ba? Yeah. Kasi napaka,
we tend to miss out on that.
Like what you said, no? Pagka blinded ka from everything else that is happening around you, you won't see, you cannot see the problems that might jump on you any second, but you also will never see the opportunities wherein in part 2 is sabi rin niya, di ba, parang always be a student. You have to keep learning because, hey, at the end of the day, you don't know it all, right? You just have to keep learning. There are other people. And I think it's also important to note that even though you know more than other people, it doesn't mean you know everything. It just means that you might have read more books, you might have attended more seminars, or you might have done more. But somehow there are some things that other people may know na hindi mo alam, hindi mo pa nararanasan, hindi mo pa natututunan. And so you can also learn from little people, even if you're a big celebrity or you're somebody who is parang renowned authority in your industry, meron pa rin may nakakaalam ng ibang bagay na hindi mo pa nararanasan, hindi mo pa
Right.
natututunan. Yun.
So it's
Sige.
having that healthy ability and rin to be emphatic with what other people are journeying, okay, yung mga pinagdadaanan nila sa buhay, Achi,
Yeah.
it's also correct at what you've realized rin, not every one of us have the same mental, physical, emotional capacities that we currently have, and it's okay. You may be advanced compared to others, but compared to even a lot more people, you're actually behind. So it's to each is his own, parang ganon. If I'm going to quote one of the quotes sa book, to each one his own. Ayan, to each one is his own journey. So I'd like to talk about the second part of the book, which is I'd like to classify it as the long game, So even if we think big, so thinking big is actually good, diba? Our goal should be as high as we possibly can, because when we dream naman, it's libre, diba? So why not dream the biggest?
Dream big.
But
Yeah.
what separates people who actually achieve those big dreams versus the majority of us who just keep on dreaming lang is taking those little baby extra steps at the onset. Diba? Yun yung discuss niya eh. Very memorable quote that I got from the book is putting one foot in front of the other. Kasi most of us, like for example, in our business, diba, if we're given a goal for the year, it may be big. It is big. It is huge. It's gigantic, diba, initially. But what prevents others from heading toward that goal is the idea now, why don't we just do it by piecemeal? Hindi yung parang ang laki kaagad. Na na-stuck na tayo dun sa idea na it's so big.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
How about you, Ate Janet?
Ako, that kind of, yun yung isa sa mga raw nerves na na-hit ni Ryan sa akin. Yeah, on a personal level. I am at the stage in my life kasi I'm turning 52 this year. So parang, and then may mga mangyayari in the near future that I have to do. I have to go through some kind of transition. So isa doon, and it's kind of a domino effect kasi pag nangyari yon, apektado lahat, all aspects of my life. So one huge transition that's going to happen soon is me becoming an empty nester. Okay, so I've got already one kid in Sydney, malabo nang umuwi yon, and I've got two who are enrolled in university in Melbourne. So once travel restrictions are lifted, they're taking classes online now. Pero pag okay na to travel, yes, pagka hindi na nakabubble ang Australia and international travels are allowed, they're gonna fly over there now, which means I will be left with my eldest. Eh yung panganay ko may balak din umalis. So talagang walang maiiwan sa akin. So now I have to, and I cannot see myself not doing anything. I can't see myself retiring in the true sense of the word, no, wala na akong gagawin. I plan to continue with the business. I love what I do. The reason why I did not move up to management is because I love directly interacting with clients, directly working with clients, and also bringing in my staff to the organization and helping me build the business. No, so I love what I do. Pero hindi naman pwedeng lahat ibuhos ko sa business ko. Hindi naman pwedeng lahat ibuhos ko sa practice ko, di ba? I mean, I don't want to be...
Iba pa tayong aspeto ng buhay.
Yes, correct. So, what am I going to do next? How am I going to fill my time? I would like to still be able to take care of people. Kasi that has been my role ever since I was I was still single. I was helping out my parents in their business. I was helping out in the house. And then when I got married, I helped my then husband in his business. Tapos nung nagkaanak kami, which is sunod-sunod, I was taking care of my kids. So sanay ako na may inaalagaan, no? In a sense, no? So right now, where am I going to put that? I want to do something more, no? So that was why I thought na, hey, maybe yung natutunan ko, how to start up a book club with some American and Canadian friends, I can bring it here, no? And then not really taking care of people, but initiating an activity so that may mapuno naman yung oras ko, no? So yun yung transition. So nagiging sunod-sunod siya. And then I'm thinking of doing a succession plan also, kasi hindi naman pwedeng bahala na si Batman pag nag 70, 80 years old ako, kanino ko ipapasa yung mga clients ko na naalagaan ko over so many years, di ba? So I have to have a succession plan so that if ever I plan to slow down yung ibang businesses that requires more attention, I can pass it on to a successor, no? So that would also mean business expansion. So parang tinitingnan ko na rin siya. Going back to your question, it's kind of it's mind-blowing kasi everything is interconnected eh. If you look at it, everything is interconnected. So yun, nakakatuwa lang yung mga revelations din na nakikita ko na, in some parts of my life, parang it's an affirmation. In other aspects of my life naman, parang aray ko, nabatukan na naman ako, ang sakit, di ba?
So siguro on my end naman, I just like to share. Initially, when I started my career, I didn't know where I was headed. My first job was actually a stockbroker. So a lot of people are telling me, wow, first job mo kaagad, broker ka na at a young age. I was 19 back then when I had my first job sa na mismo, trading floor na mismo. So my friends
nasa field
are telling
ka na.
me, nasa field na talaga ako. Kumbaga, I was already facing clients, I was already interacting with people. But something inside me told me na parang you are meant for something greater. So you are meant for something bigger than this one. So kumbaga, at that time, I didn't know how to go there. But what I do know is that if I keep on journeying lang, I'm going to find opportunities. I'm going to find possibilities, or maybe somebody who could help me achieve that. So it was also during this time when I was invited at that age na, at that time I was invited to be a guest professor at my alma mater before, San Beda. So I taught for at least 6 units for the last 2 semesters during that time. So it's not an opportunity
And
given
how
to
old were
anyone.
you? How
I
old were
was
you
21 during that time, and I was already handling a class at that
Very
time.
young prof.
Yes. So sabi ko lang, I just said yes. I just said yes, not knowing na during that time I found what I really love to do na at the onset, which is to teach. So sabi ko, sige, so I'm going to focus on this, pero I remember during that time na nauutal ako, na I cannot speak straight English. So may mga I can catch myself teaching something wrong. Kunyari may nagkamali lang na plus or minus sign. So parang inaano ko na lang, sige tuloy natin 'yan. Iibahin ko na lang kapag pag hindi sila nakatingin, mga ganun. So and then also during those times, there are people who invited me to create a course or parang a management consultancy base na never ko in-apply. Kumbaga hindi ako nag-offer. Pero people have been invited me. I've handled several companies na rin na I did their parang team building activities. I did their parang pinag-merge ko yung upper management at saka yung middle management kasi meron silang hindi pagkaintindihan, and I was able to mediate
Yeah.
doon sa dalawang parties na yon. So sabi ko sa sarili ko, these are sort of pieces that are aligning towards what I wanted to do. Yun nga yung sinabi ni Ryan in his book, being in that mindset that this is a long game, that you don't have to achieve it at the onset, but make sure that you make steps towards that.
Yeah.
Ang ganda ng mga suggestion niya kasi na-reflect ko siya dun sa, I can say, past life ko of being a broker, of being a financial advisor, na I have been presented with these opportunities to lead, these opportunities to manage people and to interact with people. And with that, I'm able to practice my craft. So yun yung sinabi ni Ryan, di ba? The ability to practice every day, day in and day out. So it's not just 10,000 hours. Kumbaga saan ba galing yung arbitrary number na yon? It actually came from Malcolm Gladwell sa Outliers book niya, which is another book for another day for our audience. Okay? Pero for Ryan, it's life is a never-ending journey of practicing. So that's the first one. The other one is finding good mentors and good coaches. The suggestion niya. So for us to help during in our trail towards that long game of life, what we really want to achieve, our ultimate and ideal self, we need to find people who will guide us, who will mentor us towards that goal. So yun yung idea niya about the long game. That success is more than a function of not having an ego, but rather it is a starting point. So at the onset, dapat mawala mo na yung ego natin, mawala mo na yung hiya, na accept the fact that we need help. We need to practice, and we are starting as a beginner, as a novice, diba? With whatever dreams or aspirations that we want to achieve, and we need the help of other people who have been there already dun sa buhay natin. So
and I think, taking those baby steps, I believe the target, it's always a moving target, but at the end of the day, it is still a target that we want to reach. We get to a certain point in our life, parang katulad ng sabi mo, di ba, yung meron tayong production goal for the year. Ang laki-laki, kailangan natin ma-achieve ng December, but we have to break it down and take those baby steps, on a monthly ba, how much production should we produce? So does that mean we have to see or call how many people, see how many people, present to how many people, close how many cases, So it's like that, but at the end of the day, the target is still there. Now, the target, the end target is not actually the year-end goal. The end target is to be consistently progressing.
Right.
Diba? And I remember this, I'm not really into sports, so I wasn't sure. When you say quarterback, this is football, right?
This is football. Yeah, American football.
Okay. American football. So this is from one of the coaches. Ang sabi niya, it would be a mistake to think this was about control. It's not, because whatever is happening around us, it is beyond our control. Ang makokontrol lang naman natin yung sarili natin, how much time we put in, diba? The standard of performance, ito yung binabanggit niya. The standard of performance was about instilling excellence. So it is excellence in everything that we do. These seemingly simple but exacting standards mattered more than some grand vision or power trip. It is more than the end of the year that I will be able to go up on stage and be able to accept an award, or be able to give a speech, or get these incentive trips that I can go abroad and post pictures on Facebook. It is
Kumbaga,
more than
the process is more important than the end goal. Yeah.
Correct. And then he ended the paragraph with, in his eyes, if the players take care of the details, the score takes care of itself. The winning
Yeah.
would happen. So if we take care of those baby steps, knowing that it's not just the end of the year that we have to be mindful of, but being consistent in doing this every year, no, then that is excellence. Then the winning will happen. No, so
Yeah.
it's just amazing how he put all of this into words, and how he dissected everything into, like, parang ano man tawag doon when you're in science class and you're dissecting a
The
frog just to
frog,
look at the
the
anatomy,
inside.
no? Yeah, makikita mo piece by piece, no?
Right.
And how everything, when it's put
Interacts
into
with
its
one
right,
another.
yes,
Yeah. Then
yes,
it becomes a
correct.
frog, di ba?
And then it's a frog, and then it's still
Yeah.
moving, right? So
Right.
nakakatuwa. This just amazing material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that we've been experiencing rin nga recently, that a lot of leaders, a lot of managers are just fixated on the end goal, that we tend to
Yeah.
forget what's the process that we need to do in order to get to that goal. So masyado tayong fixated doon that we
Yeah.
tend to forget. Ano ba yung mga things mga minuscule things
Yeah.
na we tend to set aside, that actually, if we build on it, the goal is just a result of that, of
Yes.
those
Yes.
minute steps and activities that we need to do on a regular basis.
On
So,
a
yeah,
regular basis.
on a
There you
regular
go.
basis.
There you
Ayan.
go.
Practice,
Yeah.
practice, practice. So, ayan.
Yes. Yes.
So, I'd like to turn on to a new point sa book ni na I'm sure Achi Janet, ito na naman yung tinamaan ko na naman to, ibabato ko na naman yung libro. So, this
Yes.
one naman is in terms of passion. Ayan. So,
Yes.
with regards to passion daw, parang especially in our industry and especially in this environment right now, na parang people are telling us, find your passion, di ba?
Yeah.
What are you excited to do? What are you thrilled at doing it? Pero dito, Ryan said something different. Sabi niya, purpose is more important than passion, because passion, if we're going to look at it para siyang formula, passion daw is form over function. So parang for passion, it is better for you to be seen as passionate rather than really doing the function, the thing that you're really passionate at. Pero ang purpose is different. Purpose doesn't care about the form. Purpose doesn't care about, do you look do you look the part?
Yeah.
Basta for purpose, you do the part. So it's more function. Passion is easy, but purpose is hard, because purpose is deliberate and considerate. Okay, so how about you, Achijana? What's your take on that?
I remember this very short phrase that he said, no? Sabi niya, to do or to be. Diba?
There you go.
To do or to be. And I think, talking about purpose and passion, purpose comes first. And then if you've already found it, why you were created, why you're here on earth, no? Ano ba ang purpose mo? It can be a grand purpose, and then you can kind of funnel it down to different aspects of your lives, no? Doing your purpose in different aspects of your life. Yung passion, lalabas yun eh. So the passion is the result of you knowing your purpose and doing something about it.
And
like
sticking
ako,
to it.
Yeah, and sticking to it, diba? I've shared this before and it was misinterpreted, no? Sabi ko, I like to take care of my family, no? My language of love is service kasi eh. So, nandun na ako na, ang lalaki na ng mga anak ko, gusto ko pa rin na ako yung nagluluto para sa kanila. I still, fold their fresh laundry. My bunso is turning 19 next month. And she complains that I still baby her a lot, no? Because that's what I do. So, my purpose, the way I see it, my purpose is, I'm a mom forever. Kahit na, even to my 5-year-old na pamangkin, I'm still the mother. So, nandun yun, pagiging strict ko, pagiging disciplinarian ko, together with, the protective, the loving, the caring aunt, and it's the same with me being a mom, no? So, yun yung purpose ko. That's why I'm passionate about taking care of them. No? So, I mean, putting it into that context, no? That's how I understood it. Ang nakakalungkot, no, and I'm glad I got to read this book that medyo naging klaro sa akin lahat, no, is that people would misunderstand passion, no, na, oh, I'm passionate about something, so I want to keep doing this, no, and then it gets to a point wherein you get drained, you get
Right.
tired, you get exhausted, kasi nakakapagod ang passion,
Right.
because passion is an emotion. Now, being passionate, it
Yes.
is an emotion. So it can exhaust you. It can drain the energy out of you. That
Right.
if you don't refill it, if you don't replenish it with, I don't know what, you got to replenish it with something. Maybe you got to take
Maybe that is
a time
purpose.
out. Exactly,
Yeah.
diba? You got to
Purpose is what
fill
replenishes passion.
the passion. You got to fill up the tank again, eh? So you got to go back to your drawing board and review again and remind yourself again, why are you doing this? Why are you so passionate about what you're doing today? No. So that was an eye opener for me. Kasi all the while I thought na, oh, it's all about passion, passion, passion. Yung pala, kailangan may purpose bago ka maging passionate. Yun.
Right.
So,
So parang the result of you knowing your purpose is be passionate towards that, diba? I also
yes.
like the Ryan was able to give us a thought experiment, ano. Would you would you want a, for example, if I'm going to a hospital, I'm going to have my regular checkup. Would you want a passionate doctor or would you like a purpose-driven doctor to check up on you? So
I
yun yung
would,
ano niya eh.
yeah.
Diba?
I recently started watching The Good Doctor on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. That's a
I
great
have
show.
seen,
Yeah.
I have seen bits and pieces of his show on social media. So I'm like, when I found out that he was going to be on Netflix, I was like, yay! I
The
can
first
finally
episode
watch
actually
it.
got me. Sa
Oh,
airport, diba?
yes,
That
the
got me.
boy, diba?
Right.
So I guess that answers your question. I would prefer to have a purpose-driven physician look at me. Kasi kapag passionate, like the lady doctor, Dr. Brown, no?
Right.
Very fresh pa eh, no? Naalala ko pa yung mga pangalan eh. So, Dr. Brown was more passionate because she wanted to reassure she wanted to reassure a female patient that, yeah, we'll take care of you. Yeah, you'll be able to attend your son's wedding, that you'll be okay, no, without really telling her na, we're suspecting something. We got to
Right.
open you up to see what it really is. And then, di ba? And nakakatakot yung ganun eh. Kasi,
So she's not very truthful about the situation, ano.
exactly.
And that's the thing about passion nga, 'di ba? That Ryle was stressing out, 'di ba? Passion can
Yeah.
only get you as far.
Yes.
Pero at the end of it, when we're too passionate that we tend to cloud our judgment, no, this is ra, 'di ba? Go na
Yeah.
lahat, pero may mga bagay na hindi tayo na-address when
Yeah.
we're too fixated of being in that energy of being passionate, 'di ba? That
Correct,
we
correct.
ito yun, ano ba to? It's what's ideal is that we make it about what we feel we must do and say not what you care about or wish it to be. So just mas more important yung doing it, mas more important
Yeah.
yung being honest about it. Kasi tingnan nyo nga dun sa nangyari kay Doc Brown, di ba? Okay, she was able to project, everything is fine, pero in reality, something's happening na. So, nagkaroon ngayon ng misalignment at nagkaroon ng distrust with her and the patient as the show moves forward,
Later
diba?
on.
Later on, diba? So, yan yung parang boomerang effect ng passion that it tends to go back to you and hit you hard because you were not really genuine about it. You were not really honest about the reality of the situation.
Yeah. And the painful fact is you might not be able to recover afterwards. Diba?
Exactly. Kasi you lost it already eh.
Yeah.
Diba?
Wala na. Katulad
You
niyan,
lost
the
the
trust
trust,
of a patient. Diba?
That's right.
Sabi rin dito, sabi rin ni Ryan, passion typically masks a weakness. It's breathlessness and impetuousness and franticness are poor substitutes for discipline, for mastery, for strength, and purpose, and perseverance. So, siya yung nagsusugarcoat dito sa mga dapat, dito sa mga tama, dito sa mga kailangan gawin, kung ano yung tamang gawin, di ba? So it's it's good thing it's just a movie, no? But you know, this happens in real life, di ba?
Right. I don't know with you,
happen
Achi
in real
Janet,
life.
ano, I had this experience kasi before na, di ba, when we're in a group, for example, sa school or sa ano, we're telling about each other's dreams and aspiration, di ba? That we tend to parang, wow, ang galing naman, ganun. Hindi pa niya nagagawa, pero wow, sige, I see you go.
Inuunahan na natin.
Inuunahan na natin. So it's good, di ba? Yun yung sinasabi ni Ryan at the onset of the book eh, na we don't let our ego start with our journey. Kumbaga, tignan muna natin, ano, let's be realistic about this one. It's good to achieve, but if it's always the thing that we always tell people, I'm going to be like this, I'm going to do that, without you doing
really
the small
it.
step, really doing and really practicing and really doing steps towards that goal, wala eh. Passion is meaningless if we don't do steps moving toward that ideal reality, diba?
Yeah. And it's a sad fact, but it is reality for a lot of people. I mean, sabi ko nga buti at age 51 nabasa ko na to. So I still have time to change, no? But nakakalungkot. There was this one guy in part 2 of his book, Hugh. You know, he inherited his father's business and fortune and everything. Tapos wala nauna na lahat because it got to his head right away, no? It's either like what you said, when we were little, we made plans in our head, and you know, it's not wrong for people around us to support our dreams, our goals. Walang masama doon. Pero we, as that person who is setting our goal, taking those steps, we have to keep ourselves in check. Diba? Na sandali lang, hindi ko pa na-achieve. Wag muna akong magpasalamat sa mga congratulations nila, diba? Etong kay Hugh naman, he inherited it eh. He was born rich, no? And his father died very young. So at age, I think he was 18 or 19 when he inherited everything, no? Tapos, maswerte lang siya because he had people around him helping him take care of everything else. But what if you don't? What if you were born rich but you weren't your father did not have people in place to
prudent
help
enough
you
to manage it? Right.
Exactly. And then you don't have the knowledge. Tapos you know, just like the prodigal son, you wasted everything, no?
Right.
And nakakalungkot yung gano'n, nakakatakot din because one day you'd be enjoying all these riches, you'd be enjoying the luxuries of life. The very next day, hindi ka nakilala. Buti sana kung hindi ka lang kilala. Because you were popular initially, you might be, laman ka na ng mga tabloids na sinasabi na, you've wasted your father's riches. You could have done better. So,
before famous ka, ngayon infamous ka na.
Infamous ka na. Correct. So,
I think yung idea, yung kwento rin ni Hugh, Achi Janet, doon rin nanggaling yung idea na you need to seek out mentors and coaches to help you towards that, no?
Yes.
Kasi yun nga, ang tulong nila sa atin, like I'm going to go back to the idea about the horse blinders, 'di ba? Yung mga kabayan na nakaganon. That's the reason why they need drivers and they have coaches.
Yeah.
And funny enough, coach man ang tawag doon sa ng kabayo, 'di ba? So parang kasi yung coach, kung tayo yung horse and we want to go to this certain direction, we have to believe that whatever the person at the back of us can see, kasi he can see everything
Yeah.
Diba? So I think trusting that guy in our back rin, and having putting that trust rin on really genuine people would help us towards us reaching that ideal goal or ideal dream natin. Diba?
Yes.
That's
and
true.
I think finding mentors or coaches, hindi lang siya basta isang mentor, isang coach.
Right.
No, I think it is healthy to listen in or listen to more than just a few people, and then having the discernment to take those bits and pieces na alam mong magagamit mo. Sometimes it works that way, di ba?
It's kind of like having your own board of directors, di ba?
There you go. Tapos ikaw yung CEO ng buhay mo, di ba?
Right.
So you consider all their advices and then you make the decision, di ba?
Right.
You form your own plan from whatever they have taught you or shared with you.
And get their inputs lang.
Yeah. And sometimes, going back to what I said kanina, sometimes ang mga taong to, hindi sila yung mas marunong sa'yo or hindi sila yung mas magaling kaysa sa'yo. Kasi if we would want to, say for example, hire a coach, di ba? May mga life coaches na professionals now. If we were to hire a coach, we're expecting that they know more than we do. No. Minsan, it doesn't work that way. Minsan, if you just talk to somebody na yung
a different point of view. Point of view, right?
Yeah. You get another
perspective,
vantage point. Na hindi mo nakikita kasi you're so close to what you're seeing, di ba?
Right.
You get a third person's point of view, and yun, from there you can even be more discerning about how you want to create your plan. Yun.
Right. So I think yun rin, naalala ko yung idea ni Stephen Covey in one of his 7 habits about having this synergistical attitude na 1 + 1 = 3. So not only do you have one point of view and the other person has another point of view, but you actually are able to create 3 out of that 2 perspectives, diba?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Fantastic.
It's amazing.
Grabe.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's proceed. Okay.
Yes.
Grabe pagka-passion talaga no? Medyo passionate yung discussion natin. All right. So for those lumalabas for those of you who are tuning in, please type in the comment section down below what are the learnings that you've been learning so far from our sharing with Achi Janet. So now let's move on naman, Achi, to another thing na medyo nakakabasag nung ideal natin about this particular saying. We've always heard of the saying na fake it until you make it, especially in our industry right now, di ba? Madalas natin yung iba naririnig natin sa mga manager natin. So kailangan, kung gusto mo makakuha ng client na medyo social, dapat social ka muna
social
kahit hindi mo pa-afford nun, di ba? But in this particular part of the book, Ryan broke down that idea. Kumbaga, binash niya yung idea na yon. Because for him, what's a better ideology, what's a better mindset is that make it so you don't have to fake it.
Yeah.
Kasi the idea is, according to him, the idea is if you are already faking it at the onset, you're not being genuine already. And
Yeah.
people, ayun nga, sasabog siya in
Yeah.
the future, knowing for a fact that this is not who you truly are at the onset. So, how can now people trust you moving forward if at the onset, hindi pala ikaw, yan fake ka pala nung una. So for him, ang idea niya is make it so you don't have to fake it. Doon yung
Yeah.
pumapasok yung idea niya na it's good to delay gratification at the onset, especially for people right now. A lot of our advisors right now are starting out in this business, and then ang kailangan na kaagad is kailangan social ka na, kailangan you present yourself kaagad to our clients. But and then once you get that application, once you get your first commission, biglang you buy this, you buy that na, para it creates that persona na that you
Yeah.
want to be, 'di ba?
Yeah.
But according to Ryan, delayed gratification is important. And for
Yes.
him, we should be able to pass the marshmallow test na sinasabi
Correct.
natin, which is a study, for people who are not familiar of the marshmallow effect.
Marshmallow test.
The marshmallow test, a certain group of students were given a choice whether to eat one marshmallow now or wait after a certain period of time, and then we'll give you another marshmallow.
So they
That
get
test
two.
so they get two. So according to that study, they went back to the kids who they did their test, and amazingly, the kids who didn't eat the marshmallow at the onset and waited for the second one after a certain period of time, sila yung mas naging successful in the future because they know the idea that delaying gratification is actually more beneficial to my future self. So mas inaalala nila ano pa yung what would be a better opportunity for me moving forward. Kainin ko na ba ito ngayon or wait ko lang kasi may mas maganda pang prize sa sa future.
Yeah.
So,
another experience that I recalled from my siguro mga a few years ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago, no. Yung itong nung sinabi niya na the key is to make it so you don't have to fake it, no. It was a casual, chat over a few bottles of beer at the bar with some friends during an MDRT annual meeting, no? And then one of the ladies sabi niya, pero she was kind of tipsy na nun. Sabi niya, what she would do is, kasi gusto niya high net worth clients eh. So, and alam niya, ang mga golfers, no, because it's a very expensive sport, doon siya makakahanap ng high net worth prospects. So what she did was, and maybe she's really interested in the sport. I don't know, no. But what she did was she learned the sport and she joined a club. The thing is, what kind of surprised me, because she's a lady, she would join these men after playing golf in the club, and they would drink, hard liquor, brandy, whiskey, ganon, and she would smoke cigar with them, no. And maybe again, it is what she's interested in. I'm not judging her, no. But that kind of got me thinking, do I really want high net worth clients? Do I really want to get into a situation where I know I will feel uncomfortable faking it just so I can have
take
these
advantage
prospects, take advantage of getting to know these people, hence being able to do business with them, make it, diba? And then the funny thing was, when I got back home, I was talking to one of my high net worth clients. So even with my tenure in the business, because it is not my focus, I don't have many high net worth clients. So it was a particular instance. I assisted the client for his checkups, St. Luke's Global, no? And then afterwards, we were having lunch, we were chatting, kind of relaxing because everything is done now. And sabi niya, Janet, I can introduce you to people. play golf. I can introduce you to people who can help you, no? And it was so enticing, it was so tempting, no? All I have to do is invest in
The
clubs and then
gear.
invest in a membership, invest time, no? Pero do I really want to do it? I mean, I could have said yes kasi nandiyan na yung opportunity eh, 'di ba? Ayan na, siya na yung nagsabi. He's so happy with how I'm helping him out that he wanted to refer me to people he knows, no? But in return, I have to do this, no? And I have to put in a lot of time to mingle with this type of crowd. Do I really want to do it? I went back home and I slept on it for a few nights and hindi ko na siya binalikan about it because this part of the book kind of brought me back to that time in my past. No, why did I decide not to do it? I could have, women play golf, diba?
Right.
But number one, I'm not comfortable with, and I know because he's a guy, the group will be mostly with guys also. And I've already had a bad experience when I was starting in this business, no, with prospecting with a group of men. It's really difficult. Kahit na anong sabihin nila na ang babae may advantage, no, it doesn't work that way. So it brought me back to that time in my past. Why did I say no? No. It was because I didn't want to fake it. Diba? Hindi naman ako interested sa sport eh.
That's not who you are, right?
That's not who I am. And I know I will not be comfortable with group of men. I mean, if halo-halo kami, men and women, why not, diba? But just men, no, thank you, no. So kahit na mawala yung opportunity na yon, but at least I was true to myself, no. Hindi ko pinag-aksayahan ng oras yung isang idea that I know from the onset it's not going to work for me. Yon. So yon, an affirmation actually.
Yeah. So make it so that we don't have to fake it. Ayan. Kasi
yes.
that opportunity can come and go, pero there are a lot more opportunities for you to achieve still the goal, diba? So
yeah.
So for you didn't really need that those kinds of clients, but you're still able to achieve MDRT from year in, year out, diba? So ibig sabihin, for our audience rin, there are a lot of ways for you to achieve MDRT. There are a lot of opportunities for you to achieve that, and not just what other people are just telling you na parang you need to be this one so that you can achieve the
that
goal,
goal.
or the that goal, right?
Yeah. And on the same part of the book, he said, and I'll quote him, work is finding yourself alone at the track when the weather kept everyone else indoors. Work is pushing through the pain and crappy first drafts and prototypes. It is ignoring whatever plaudits others are getting, and more importantly, ignoring whatever plaudits you may be getting, because there is work to be done. Work doesn't want to be good. It is made so despite the headwind. And he ended that part of the book with an old expression. He said, "You know a workman by the chips they leave." It's true. To judge your progress properly, just take a look at your floor. So all you have to do is look back. If you feel like, and this still happens to me, no? Parang feeling ko, have I really done, enough na masasabi kong na nagamit ko yung full potential ko, no? But so that kind of robs me of self-confidence at times, no? Na parang kulang pa to eh, parang hindi nakakahiyang sabihin na ito yung na-achieve ko kasi kulang pa to compared to other people. But all I have to do is look back at the chips on the floor that I left behind. No, na somehow over the past this year, I think will be my 13th year in the industry. No, somehow I made it through. Yun. So Beautiful.
Amazing. So just a final thought lang on this idea, no, of
Mm,
making it so you don't have to fake it. Again, um we need to go back to what our purpose really is,
mm,
and being laser focused on that ideal. And while we're still not in that ideal situation, that number one, we are being reminded to delay gratification. It's okay
mm.
to pat yourself at the back,
Yeah,
okay, for every
yeah.
small wins that we achieve, or maybe the
Mm,
big wins na rin that we achieve. But so long as we are still far from that, we need to move on and put on more work, put in
yeah,
more work, put in more hours towards
yeah.
that ideal.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now
And never forget that to jump ahead, is giving ego that room to stretch out, 'di ba?
right,
It's pride already, putting pride already in front of you, and the opposite of pride is humility. So
yeah,
let's not jump ahead, but let's always look back, no? Because looking back,
yeah,
parang somehow you're pulled down to earth again, and you realize that how you started, no, and that humbles you, a lot.
yeah. You tend to look back and you tend to see where you come from versus where you
Yeah,
are right now, diba?
yeah,
That really
and where
puts
you're
your
headed
feet
to.
in the ground. And
Yeah.
where else there are you headed to, diba? That's
Yeah.
right. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So right now we'd like to move on with our topic. So with this part naman, we'd actually like to talk about failure. Ayan.
Mm.
So we're going to talk about a little bit about failure. Now, the way Ryan summarizes it, failure, we as people, we are not failures. No one is a
Mm.
failure.
No.
But we are just experiencing failure. So
Mm-hmm.
failure is never an identity, but
Mm.
failure is just an experience for us.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Ati Janet? How do you were there instances in your life where in your experience na parang, I'm a huge failure, para I could have done this better, and then how did you transcend out of that experience?
Yeah, I think tama siya, no? Tama si Ryan. It's how you look at failure, eh. We just like nobody is born a failure, nobody is born a genius, nobody is born immediately success story kaagad, no.
Right.
um, it is part of life, no? But what is most important, we know that it is part of life. Somehow, somewhere down the road, we will experience it. I think what is most important is how we deal with it, how we deal with failure. Because if we're going to just stick around and let it eat us up, then malulunod lang tayo na malulunod, magmumukmuk lang tayo, we'll start looking down at ourselves, and it's so difficult when you're already down in the pits, so difficult to pull ourselves out, 'di ba? So how do you deal with it? This is a very, very personal experience, but it is no secret anymore. 15 years ago, I went through a failed marriage. No, and my marriage, my family was something that I was so proud of. Sabi nga ng bunso kong kapatid sa akin, sabi niya, Atsi, ikaw kasi masyado kang idealistic. Tingin mo kasi fairy tale ang marriage. It doesn't work that way. And she's 13 years younger than I am. So imagine getting that from somebody so young at that time. No? Um, and I could have, ruined my life by either staying in the marriage, no, staying together, even though the relationship is already
Falling
broken.
apart.
Now, it was already broken, actually, not just falling apart. Um, I could have, or I could have, because of my experience, I could have just sulked and not, there were those mornings kasi na pagising ko, ayaw
You
kong
don't wanna go,
bumangon from
yeah.
bed. Oo,
Mm.
parang there is a security staying in bed, knowing that if I don't move from here, everything is going to be okay. Walang mangyayaring masama today, no? But I can't do that. I've got 4 kids to take care of. I've got, I've got things to do. I've got laundry to wash. I've got the kitchen to clean, stuff like that. No, so um and what I've learned after a few months, I mean, alam mo yung stages of grief, no? Hindi siya yung after you're done with
Denial.
one stage and then you get to the next until you finish everything, no? It doesn't work that way. In my experience, you go back like it's like a never
Patalon-talon.
ending roller coaster. Oo. Ang nakakatakot dun sa roller coaster na yon, blindfolded ka. You don't know if you're feeling up and happy today, encouraged, tomorrow pagising mo baka eto na naman, you're feeling depressed again, no? You really don't know what's going to hit you the next day or even the next minute. So the very important lesson that I've learned there, no, in dealing with failure, and it in my eye kasi I failed in my marriage. Somehow I had something to do with it. No, it wasn't. It takes two to tango, right? For a marriage to succeed, a relationship to succeed, or a relationship to fail. So may parte rin ako, may shortcomings din ako doon. What I realized is in any bad experience, no, in any failure, in anything that you see as a failure, there is a lesson that you can pick up from there. You can learn from it, no? And, baka naman ngayon, sa tingin mo, pasan mo ang mundo, pagka you recovered from it, you come out as a better person, as somebody who is stronger, as somebody who is more mature, so that when you have to deal with other types of failure in your life down the path, you'd be more resilient, you'd be wiser. No, that has been what happened. I am slower to decide. I am more discerning. I would run to people for their point of view, not necessarily for advice, but for their perspective, before I come out with a last decision. So that's what I've learned from the many failures in my life. Yun.
So
How about you?
Just to paraphrase what you've told us, I love how you put it. The parang the failure, what at the onset, what you thought of as a failure is actually a building block for you to be who you are right now. And I love how you transcended out of that that parang pit hole, di ba? Of being just stuck by being stuck and then moving forward, and rather than being a stumbling back, it was a stepping stone. You took that as a
Yes.
stepping stone.
Yes.
Well,
And also before I forget, no, there will be people, kasi there will be people who would encourage you na kaya mo yan, Janet, sige lang, nandito lang kami. But there will always be people who would continue to put you down. I have family members who up until just recently, binabalikan yun dati. yung the fact that sasabihin niya, sinabi ko na sa iyo yang asawa mo, may ganon, no? Tapos
may self-righteousness, parang ganon.
Tapos I have friends naman who would look for what did you do wrong, Janet? 'Di ba? You had a good marriage what did you do wrong? Ikaw kasi masyado ka nagmamahal. May ganon, no? You avoid those people. Even if they're family members, they are not healthy for you. Be polite, be respectful, no? But keep your distance. You have that option. You are not obligated to have them in your life palagi. Tama na yung pag nagkita kayo during family gatherings,
hi,
be
hello.
polite, hi, hello, and then sit a few chairs apart from them. Don't mingle with them.
If it's not healthy for you, you decide not to interact with those kinds of people.
Correct. And you were going to say?
Yeah, well, for me naman, my first 2 years as a stockbroker, so I was already earning a substantial amount of money back then, but something in me is telling me na parang, is this all what life has to offer na lang? Parang,
Mm.
ang idea ko noon is, I just help rich people get richer pa.
Mhm.
But what about the others that are being left behind?
Mm.
So, this being a financial advisor for the last 7 years is actually parang categorically a jump ship for me. Parang
Mm.
tumalon ako eh. Kasi nobody, not even my family, wanted me to become a financial advisor. My mom, for the first 2 years of my career as an advisor. Kasi po ano eh, for the information of everyone, I was a walk-in. Nobody invited me
Oh,
here. So I walked in at a Sun
wow.
Life ano pa nun, parang hindi pa siya Libright or Forum eh, parang basta yon, business opportunity, BOF. Okay, so I
Okay.
walked in having no idea what to do here, having no idea na this one doesn't earn pala I'm not an employee anymore. I need to
Mm.
earn so that I need to work for it. So if no work, no pay. So wala akong ganun idea, pero I just jump. Okay, I just trust the process even if I have a lot of friends who are still brokers right now who are earning
Mm.
more than me during that time. Sabi nila, wag ka lang, galing mo na dito. Bakit ka pa lilipat? Tapos biglang lilipat ka pa dyan. Diyan. Ganun
Mm.
pa yung pagkakasabi nila eh. Diyan.
Ang diin, ha?
So, grabe talaga yung din. Pero, for the last 7 years that I've been here, and even currently, I've changed some of their beliefs already. So, right now,
Mm.
yung mga we can say detractors ko noon have now become
Mhm.
my cheerleaders. They're my number one cheerleaders right now who
Mhm.
are now my center of influences
Mm.
when there are times na I need more clients, I need to achieve a certain goal, they will refer people to me because they see
Wow.
that I love my job,
Yeah.
that I really discovered what I can say is my calling, which is helping people and
Mm.
teaching them. I'm able to do it with this career of ours. So yan, so yun rin
Amazing journey.
yung akala ko talagang stumbling block noon na parang
Mm.
paminsan papasok sa isip ko, tama ba yung sinasabi nila? May ganun eh, 'di ba? Sa
Yeah.
journey natin, 'di ba? Yung parang alam mo sa sarili mo, ito yung sinasabi, ito yung truth ko eh. Ito yung belief ko eh. Pero ang dami nagsasabi sa paligid ko na hindi, hindi, hindi. Pero you
Mm.
have to be honest with yourself. Initially, before you are honest with other people,
Yeah.
before you make it so that you
Mm.
cannot fake it, you need to be honest with
Mm.
yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kasi ikaw ang magtataguyod sa gusto mo sa buhay eh. 'Di
Yeah.
ba? Let
Yeah.
not other people dictate what you want in life. So long as you don't harm people, so long as
Mm.
you are building not only yourself but also building up on other people, then you have nothing to be afraid of eh.
Yeah, yeah. Na nakakatakot yung ganong journey, no? Siguro it would be also comforting for our listeners to know that everybody goes through that fear of not knowing what is ahead.
Right. The
Yon. Kaya
uncertainty,
the
right?
uncertainties. That's why there are success stories. That's why there are failures, 'di ba?
There you
But
go.
let not, just like allowing ego to come into place by letting success get into your head, do not allow failure to get into your head as well.
Right.
Do not let it identify who you are, kasi
Right.
kung sinabi ko sa sarili ko na, oh no, I failed as a wife, no, then probably I would have failed as a mom also. Matatakot ako eh. I wouldn't even venture into, kasi I got into this business after I got out of the marriage. Eh. So
Mm.
parang baka matakot din ako
180.
pumasok.
180 shift talaga.
Exactly, di ba? Baka matakot din akong pumasok sa isang profession na wala akong kaalam-alam. I was really, I work as I work as an overall director of our accounting department sa business namin, no? So, napakalayo. I don't see people. I don't talk to people. Pag Sabado, collection day, everybody goes through my PA, no? Pag yung mga mga bosses na supplier lang. Yun yung mga, ma'am, nandito si ganito, gusto makipagkwentuhan daw. O yun, sige, let him in. Ganun lang. Sabado lang ako na nakikipagkita sa mga bosses ng suppliers namin. Kung hindi, I don't really meet people, no? So,
Right.
let us not allow failure to get into our head also. Kasi it's a huge jump. Just like you, when you shifted career, no, it was also a huge jump for me to move into an industry that
Completely
I am
new.
obligated new, and I am obligated to see people. Dati I have parang I can decide not to see people, eh, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Ngayon, wala naman akong choice, eh.
Right.
I need to continue to prospect, and to prospect I
Right.
need to kailangan kapalan ko yung mukha ko, ako yung lalapit sa
Right.
tao, 'di ba? So, yun, importante yun, eh. Focus on the work that needs to be done. Focus on the time that you need to put in. Don't let failure get into your head. No.
Yan. Kaya I love how Ryan put it, Achi Janet.
Mm.
Failure is just an experience. It's not who you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was it's never you at the onset, and it's never you
To begin
it's
with.
never really to begin with and to
Yeah.
end with, diba? It's just an experience that you need to go through, and that everyone, regardless of the industry, regardless of what you're doing in life, we are going to experience failure because that's part of life.
Yeah.
Diba?
Nobody's
And it's
exempted.
that's right. And it's the mindset, it's the idea of how you're going to use this failure as either a stumbling block or
Or
a
a
stepping
stepping
stone.
stone.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's actually transcending na already, kasi actually after this one, ano to? Ego is the enemy. That's Ryan's third book, which is The
Yeah.
Obstacle is the Way. So yan. Meron siya
Ayan.
naman very specific book about that idea, no? So
Mhm.
let's just wrap up. Okay,
Mhm.
let's time to wrap up. I do hope you guys have been learning so far. Okay, we've been
Yeah.
talking for more than an hour.
More than an
I do hope
hour.
that you are at least you get something, a tidbit of inspiration, or something that you've been yearning for the past few months that we've been here in this pandemic. We do hope that our discussion is able to tap into those
Mm.
little parang hindrances sa atin of moving forward. And we hope that
Yeah.
we are able to help you with that, on that aspect of your life. So just to wrap things up, I think Ryan concluded the book very visually with this one,
Mhm.
the idea of sweeping, at si Janet.
Mm.
Okay?
Mhm.
He told us about a philosopher who had this idea about sweeping, yung pagwawales every day.
Mhm. Mhm.
So according to him, training is like sweeping the floor.
Mhm.
Just because we've done it once, it doesn't mean that the floor is clear forever. Because
Yeah.
every day, dust comes back. Palagi mo babalikan, 'di ba? Araw-araw
Mm.
nagwawalis tayo, 'di ba? Hindi ba tayo napapagod? Ang pagwawalis, hindi yan isang daan lang, malinis
Yeah.
na,
Yeah.
because dust always comes back. And every
Mhm.
day we must sweep. So,
Yeah.
applying it in our life right now. So, for the past hour that we've discussed about, practicing of moving towards having these small steps. So it's
Mm.
kind of like sweeping the floor, that we need to do it day in and day out.
Yeah.
We need to practice it, because at the end of the day, if we stop sweeping, okay, maybe on the first or the second day that we stop sweeping, may alikabok ng konti pero hindi siya
Mm.
pansinin. Pero yun
Yeah.
nga, it builds up, it accumulates over time. Na
Yes.
at the onset, pag hindi natin siya nagawa, sobrang kapal na nung dumi
Mm.
at sobrang laki na nung effort that we need to do. Hindi na kaya ng walis, vacuum na, o kaya deep cleaning
Mm-mm.
vacuum na ang kailangan para
Oh.
para malinis yun, So And yun lang, ang ganda nung idea niya about keep on sweeping, no? Keep on
Yeah,
doing the
yeah.
small things because it builds up over the long term.
Yeah. He applied this when he talked about ego, but I think tama ka, no? It should be applied in all aspects of our lives, no? It is not just making sure that we sweep off the dust and the dirt so that ego will not accumulate, no? But importante rin yung mga small steps that we are doing, no? I'm guilty of that. Somewhere in the middle part of the book, he talked about having all these ideas in your head but not being able to take action to it, no? Ganun ako eh. Ako I've always seen myself as the thinker and the parang yung
planning.
Planner tsaka yung tawag dito nag-oversee and
supervisor.
try to reach the goal. Ganon.
Right.
Pero yung middle part hindi ko nagagawa. So parang eto na naman, gusto ko na naman basagin yung iPad ko. Kasi tinamaan na naman ako. Ang dami kong gustong gawin na nandyan yung planning, no? Coming up with the blueprint. The blueprint has not yet been finalized, but coming up with a blueprint is there, and then the end goal is also there. The reason why I'm planning is because meron akong objective for this, no? Pero yung middle part, hindi ko nagagawa, Kaloy. Hindi ko, I am not able to take action. I would take small actions here and there, pero wala siyang continuation. So, ang ganda rin nung analogy nung sweeping dito sa atin na kailangan tuloy-tuloy ko siyang gawin. Kailangan araw-araw, I have to put in time to take care of the planning process, to make sure that it continues on until I reach my goal. Yun.
Right. And for me naman, one of the thing that I got from this idea of sweeping is with my mom. Kasi currently I'm still living with my mom and my dad. Kaming tatlong magkakapatid, nandito pa rin kami. All of us are working na naman, pero we still decide to stay here for the reason being na stay with the parents. Not only is it economical for us kasi we're naman kami, we don't have a province. So all throughout our life we're living really in Pasig. So we have nowhere else to go and we don't need to rent out a place to be able to work or to study. So sa akin lang, how I apply this is that every day kasi my mom cooks for us. He cleans the house, he tends to our garden, and every day right after we have our lunch or our dinner, kasi we eat sabay-sabay. We make it to a point that we eat sabay-sabay regardless if we're doing something else or whatever. So yeah. So before I stand up, I always say thank you. Thank you, Ma, I love you, and then a kiss. And then it was only recently that I'm able to appreciate that thing that I am doing. Kasi initially before parang it's kind of habit na habitual na siya. Parang thank you, Ma, kiss. Thank you for the food, thank you for the house. Parang gano'n, wow, ang ganda ng bahay natin. Yung mga short na papuri na yun. Because back in May, my mom was diagnosed with a mild form of COVID. So to the point na parang the whole May was the whole month of May is really talaga the lowest point in our family's life this year. Because of that, we rush her to the hospital and gano'n. Doon ko na-appreciate na yung maliliit na bagay pala na yun, it was so worth it because the moment that you are removed from that, na I wasn't able to say thank you because
say
nasa
thank
hospital
you.
nga si Mami.
Yeah.
Nasa hospital nga si Mami or tell her that I love her or hug her every morning whenever we meet out and we hear mass. Kasi every day we hear mass sa amin dito sa before we head out and have our breakfast. So, nakakamiss pala yung mga yon. And it actually builds us up. Yung parang wala akong feeling of guilt na parang sana nagawa ko to. Yun yung difficulty ngayon, di ba? Especially dito sa environment natin, yung idea na parang sana.
Yeah.
So, rather
sana
than
all.
having that, sana all, di ba? So yung mga yung idea na ganun, yung sana all in order for us to prevent that para ma-prevent natin yung mga ano tawag na I forgot that term. Yung parang
Yeah.
what's that? Nasa dulo ng dila ko eh. Yung
Correct.
regret. Ayun.
Yes, yes.
Regret.
I
So
wish I could have done it.
I
Yeah,
wish I'd done it. So why not now?
yeah.
So
Why not do it
that's the
now?
thing. Why not do it now? If you feel like you're going to regret something, then why not do it now? Because
Mm,
now is the perfect time for you to start. Now is the perfect time for you to sweep the floor and to
yeah.
start building on those stepping stones that initially you thought of as failure, that initially you thought of that it's a long-term goal. Sabi ko, I want to be, for example, a loving son or a loving husband. Why
Mm,
not build on it as early as now? That
yeah.
we tend to realize na in order to prevent regret in the future. And I think that basically ties up the book,
Mm,
Achi Janet, having that ability to do those small steps right now and preventing yourself, your ego, from getting way ahead of you in order for you to build on towards what you really want in life. There
correct,
you go.
correct. Napakagandang discussion. Kulang ang isang
Yeah.
oras. Dadalawa na nga
Yes.
tayo, kulang pang isang oras. So again, as Kaloy has said earlier when we started recording, no, we hope more WMC alumni will be able to join us in this journey, no.
And we are actually open, Achi?
Yes,
We just
yes,
need a
we
few
are.
requirements. Yeah.
So ang requirement lang natin, we will need of course your name and email address, and also every time we meet, you are able to finish reading the assigned book and participate in the discussion. Ayan. So right now, we just finished our second book assignment. Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, and we will be announcing our second book announcement for anybody who is third book assignment for anybody who would be interested to join us. And we'll also announce when will be our next discussion will be. Yan. Here we are at the end of this hour and almost a half hour and 20 minutes na discussion. And maraming salamat, Kaloy, for recommending this book. Hayaan mo, hindi ko ibabato ang iPad ko.
Wag naman.
Mahal siya masyado, di ba? So, but it's a lot of enlightenment. Maraming salamat, Kaloy, for recommending this book. So anybody who is interested, please reach out to Kaloy or reach out to me. Mika and Pao we're not able to join us today, but you can also reach out to Mika and Pao if you're interested. Ayan.
So this has been another episode of the WMC Book Club. This has been your host for today, along with Achi Janet Nang. This is Carlos Felipe. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are across the globe. God bless everyone and have a great weekend ahead.
Bye-bye.